So I just got another trade in here. A guy bought one of my newer $100 Murrays, just a standard 21-inch 2-in-1 that I had with the 450 series Briggs & Stratton. Traded me in this one. He said that it needed a throttle cable and also needed needed a primer bulb. I don't know about the primer bulb because if I press it here, you can hear it priming. So let's do another quick inspection of it, see how the oil looks. Again, I'm on a slope. Obviously the oil is going to need to be changed in it. That's no surprise. The deck is in decent shape for it to be MTD yard machines of this vintage. You see some of them that are rusted out that are like this, but this one's in decent shape. I think you just use it as a trim mower. And it looks like the engine code is on the actual cover itself, and it says around 1999. February of 99 is what it looks like. At least that's when the engine cover was made. Looks like that he's just used this. The blade is in pretty good shape for what it is. I'll just sharpen it up. And again, just another $50 mower. Checking the gas cap here. Looks like it's got fresh gas in it. Sometimes these primer bulbs are a little bit unusual in the fact that they might get clogged up or something and don't prime, but this one seems to prime, even though he says it didn't. He came from about an hour away, so I figured it wouldn't be a good idea for him to come an hour and then me start the thing up. I think he's just kind of looking for a new mower anyways, but let me put this camera down. I'm curious to see if this thing will run. Get that out of the way a little bit. Well, y'all, isn't it a wonder? I think it had a little bit too much gas in it from where I primed it. Sounds like it needs a carb diaphragm, which I'll probably put one in it. I will put one in it because it's doing the symptoms of a bad diaphragm. Probably have to put an air filter on it, but yeah, just a general service and not really having to fix anything, it looks like. So let me work on this. I'll probably have it ready in a very quick second, and we'll be in business. So I've got the air filter right here. It's pretty dirty. I'll probably just put a new one on there, just because that looked like to be the original filter, and after about 18 years I think it's time. A little bit of a quick tip on the throttles of these Briggs & Strattons here. He did say it needed a throttle cable, which, maybe. You could use a throttle for these things. But most of these are auto-throttle. It looks like he had bent this up. But usually, there's this tab right here. And this tab is usually bent down like that. That way, your throttle is kind of set in there. And there's no really a throttle cable's not really needed unless you decide you want to control your own throttle like this guy did, which isn't a bad thing, which isn't wrong, but these are usually set auto throttle, and so I just bent it back down, and that'll help regulate the throttle on this. And like I said, I need to put a carb diaphragm in it, just do a little freshening up, and so I'll do that, and I'll clean it up, because y'all know how to, I've shown you how to take these carbs off, this bolt, or you got to take the gas tank off with the 1/2 inch and the 3/8 inch bolts right there. And then that comes completely off. You take your little linkage off the top of the carburetor here. You have 5 screws. You take it out. You have a gasket. Take the gasket out. Put the new gasket on. Carburetor. And voila. So I will do all that next. So I have the old diaphragm off, as you can see. I know you can't feel it, but it looks like it's been used pretty good. It's a little bit warped there, and it's pretty hard as well, but it still worked. Putting a new one on it just because it needs one. Little quick tip about the power bulb. I've noticed that sometimes after these, just still got some gas in the carburetor, but since these type carburetors, plastic carburetors with the power bulbs that attach to the gas tank, I've noticed this isn't the first one that's done it to someone apparently. I've noticed that if they do sit for a little while, even over the season, that they won't immediately prime for some reason. Not completely sure. Even after you put gas in them, they may not prime. What has helped out, and I bet what helped out this mower, was the fact that it rode in a truck for about an hour, being moved around and stuff. You know, I'd just recommend getting out and moving the mower around a little bit, maybe raising and lowering the deck, just kind of going up and down on it. And I don't know, it shouldn't be because of sediment or anything. It might just need to have a little jolt to life. I don't know how another way to explain it is. But I've done that to a couple of mowers, and it's worked pretty well by just, just moving it around, getting the gas sloshing around, getting it flowing a little bit. And usually it'll start picking it on up after you prime it a few more times. I did have to prime it about 4 or 5 times in order for the gas to start coming up on this one, but the primer bulb's in great shape, and it's priming great now that it's been getting gas up in there. So it's just kind of an interesting thing, but I wanted to let y'all know about it because it's not the first time I've seen something like this, and I've just noticed that getting the mower out and moving it around and maybe hitting the deck up and down a couple of times, just getting things going again for the season, seems to work. Again, it's not good to leave old gas in the tank, but even when putting new gas in there, it'll sometimes do that. So if it's not priming, just try that before putting another primer bulb on it. As y'all saw, this one was priming, or heard, and it was pretty good. So I'm just gonna put a new diaphragm on it, clean it up, and let y'all hear it run. So about an hour's worth of work with the air filter and the carb diaphragm, and let me show y'all the air filter if I can get it down there enough. I think the sun's blocking it, but I did oil the air filter, so it filters the way that it's supposed to. Just lightly oiled it. Sharpen the blade. Under the deck looks good. This one, I mean, again, just another $50 mower for me, but it cleaned up really nice. I may have had it a little flooded, turning it on its side, but might take a few pulls, but we'll get this thing up and running. So it was running, it had quite a bit of fuel to burn off there. Emitted a little bit of raw exhaust out there, but I forgot to put my little string to give y'all a little synopsis of it. But yeah, a good little $50 mower, just a simple little tune-up on this one, and just righting a couple of small wrongs with it. So like I said, it won't make me a ton of money, but it's gonna be a good mower for somebody, and it might warrant another trade. You never know. And also, if y'all been following me with the videos, this deck is stamped for a side shaft, and it would have also worked for that side shaft Murray engine that I had hanging around. But I found another deck exactly like it, except it was red to put on it. So again, another successful mower resurrection that didn't really require too much, and I'll keep on working. And I got one more I know that I'm going to try and get going, so that video should be coming up soon as well. Thank y'all for watching.